Hello everyone, welcome to the first fly tying video on the Screaming Reels channel. I am by no means a professional fly tyer, but I thought if I were to start tying my own flies, maybe I'll become better. So, I thought, why not for my first video, tie one of my most effective flies, and that is the Iron Lotus. So right here, you have a size 14 hook with a size 2.8 tungsten bead. And we're going to start off by attaching some olive uni thread. Let's get that on there. And snip off the tag end. Now that I got the thread secured, I'm going to add a little bit of lead wire. There are multiple ways to add lead wire onto a fly, but one of my favorite ways to do this is to stick the lead wire into the gap on the hook, on the bead, and take a few wraps to secure it down. Now, as you can see, I'm going to begin wrapping the lead wire behind the thread, and as you can see, as I wrap, it's pushing that wire back on the hook. So once I get enough on there, I can just helicopter it off and secure it down. Just like that. Okay. Now that we got that on, we're going to take our tailing material, our Coke de Leon, and we're going to take 5 or 6 fibers to make our tail. Alright. We want to make sure that the tail is roughly the same length as the body. So as you can see, it's roughly the same length. So I'll just transfer it over into my hands. And spin up the bobbin and begin tying it on in. There we go. That's looking pretty good. And if it's not a slight bit there, I can just pull a little bit, and there we go. Alright, then we can wrap it back up to the front and cut off our excess Coke de Leon. Okay, our next step is we're going to take some silver brassy wire and we're going to wrap this down the body of the fly to make some ribbing later on. Alright, now that this is secured in, we're going to take our olive thread and keep winding it to kind of create a smooth body on the fly. And don't worry, we're not going to get all the lead covered because we're eventually going to cover that up with some ice dub to make a thorax. But that should be good. Okay. Now we're going to take our whip finishing tool. And we're going to do a few loops because we're eventually going to tie on, in the next step, a different thread to make the collar. Alright, so now we're going to take our red thread and attach it on. Just like that. Snip the tag end off. Alright, now we are going to begin wrapping our silver wire. And once again, this silver wire is meant to add some segmentation onto the fly. Alright, that should be good. Now we're going to anchor this down, tie it off, and spin it and take it off. There we go. It is off. You can take a few more wraps to really anchor that down. Alright, at this point in the fly, some people like to put some UV resin to smooth out the body, but I'm not a big fan of it. I like that the ribbing kind of gives a little bit more definition. You can really, there's more contours on the body. So, our last and final step, we're going to take some black UV ice dub in Peacock variation, and we're going to make a thorax out of it. So we're going to take a little bit and spin it onto our thread. I could probably use a little more, but not much. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's begin wrapping. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Now that's all tied in, we're going to make ourselves a little red collar in front of it. There we go. That is looking pretty good. Alright, now we're the last and final step. We're just going to take our whip finishing tool and finish off the fly by taking a few whip finishes. Alright, we can now snip it off. And lastly, of course, to make sure the fly is really durable, we're going to add a little drop of head cement to it. Perfect. Alright, that right there is the Iron Lotus. Thanks for watching.